Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We're live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. We're live on YouTube, and thanks to everyone for listening on the podcast. Matt Iwanyk with you here today on the show. Rory McCourt, he's back on the show because it is Monday, and Brendan, the intern here, who survived 2 weeks without me watching over him. By all accounts, did mostly well. I have one thing that we'll have to bring up about Brendan on the show today from my time away that I've learned this morning, which I'm very surprised by. But gents, how are you guys doing today?
Hard to complain. I was mentioned to you earlier, you actually remembered how to get here today after being gone for so long.
I remembered how to get here today. I also remembered the things I'd have to say. Tune in, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, YouTube, and podcast, and didn't stumble over those.
It's like riding a bike.
I got right back into it, so I'm pretty pleased about that. And then, yeah, today's guests are not Tommy, says Big U. Classic. Tube socks. Tommy couldn't show his face. We will get to that, and as Big U says, look at that glorious trophy. We'll talk about that very, very shortly here. It is very warm in this studio already. I will say that. Has this office been this warm for a while?
Not like this. Today's special.
Okay.
Yep.
Good thing I wore a hoodie today.
Now that you're back in the saddle, you can get things back in order around here.
Well, that I can't deal with that well. We've struggled with that ever since we've came on here. I've already thrown the AC on this morning, but it doesn't feel like the AC is kicked in.
No.
So,
yeah, it is warm. But you're used to warm. You were just in Mexico, so...
Yeah, but it's different when you're getting the sun and you're getting the UVs and you get a tan as opposed to just sweating in a studio with the studio lights and nothing else.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
want the tan. I want to bronze up. I'm ready for summer here in Edmonton now.
I'm surprised you don't have shorts on. It's spring officially on Thursday. And
Yes, it is.
You just have pants on. That's not you.
All
All your shorts are in the laundry. It
was so nice just wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Flip-flops, T-shirts. It's glorious.
The Matt Iwanyk dress code for summer right there.
As Warren Barris and Scott McCourt labels me, I'm Summer Eye at that point.
You're Summer what?
They call me Summer Eye.
I like that.
Summer Eye. I don't get it though.
My last name's Iwanyk.
Oh.
Spelled with an I.
Duh.
So Summer Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where that comes from.
Okay. Oh my goodness. You might as well just do your thing with that.
As anyone who watched the Hangout on Friday, because we had Mike and Dash from the Heavy Hockey Network come on, or anyone heard over the last little bit, we were taking part in the Heavy Hockey Showdown, which was to raise money in support of SACE, who are going through a difficult time. They've lost some provincial funding, so it was even more important, this hockey game that we're taking part in. It was Team Edmonton Sports Talk versus Team Heavy Hockey. I think you were on the Hangout last year following the Showdown too.
Yeah, it was this Monday right afterward, and they were on the show.
Dash came in, yes, and we lost.
And you were bitter.
Edmonton Sports Talk, we lost the trophy. We won the fundraising trophy. Our team raised the most money, but we lost the game trophy, and I was not happy. We got destroyed in the second game, and it was like, we need to go full rebuild. We brought in a new coach. Coach Pizza Boy came down from Slave Lake. Coach Pete ended up actually joining the other team, the Heavy Hockey Boys. We had Coach Mike be his assistant along with Dash. But we rebuilt this team. And I am proud to say, well, if you haven't figured it out watching YouTube, Team Edmonton Sports Talk are your champions. We dominated this. I'm going to go with full time. We took care of business in game one. It wasn't even close. Game two was tight, right down to the end. In fact, my brother was the one who scored the game-winning goal. But we did it.
You played 2 games, so is it a best of 3, or was it just 2-game total?
No, it was 2 games, 2 18-minute halves per game.
Okay.
So the boys all played 4 8 and a couple of gals 4 18-minute periods.
Okay.
Throughout the whole day. If it was tied, if one team won the one game and one team won the other game, it would go to, I think, a shootout. We didn't need that because we're Team Edmonton Sports Talk.
Well, you're 1-1 now.
Nah. We didn't know what we were doing last year. We rebuilt. So today we're drinking out of the cup. That's it. Everyone is allowed to drink. Oh, this didn't open at all. Everyone from Edmonton Sports Talk is allowed to take a drink out of this, except for Tom Gazzola, who's not here today.
Yes, and
And
maybe
we'll
that's
explain
why
that
he took
story.
the day. Maybe that's why he took the day off today because he felt
He knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, he was going to get roasted today for his poor behavior.
Team Edmonton Sports Talk, baby. Yeah.
Oh, how did that taste?
That tastes like victory.
Yeah.
Anyone want some? Feel free. It's
Are you gonna
Edmonton
have-
Sports
I
Talk
think
victory.
I'm okay.
You think you're okay? Yeah, I'm
It's-
okay too.
it's-
Well, I'll
Still
drink out of
early.
that the whole show today. I think Dusty's going to come in a little bit later and have a sip because he was the champ for that. So, wonderful events. Thanks to everyone for coming out supporting. We had Big Uke there. We had the Combine crew out there. VR was there. Andrea was there. Just trying to think if I'm missing any nasties from the stands. Caleb from Turf District was there. My parents were there. My nieces were there. And then thanks to, if I'm missing anyone, apologies. We had Savage the Plumber. We had Bryce the Sparky. We had Corey B. We had Jason the Arcadian. We had, what other nasties am I missing? Trevor Archibald was there. Who else was on our team that I might be missing? If I'm missing anyone, please jump in the nasty checks. My apologies then. But then we had my brother, Paulie, Tommy's brother. He was the MVP of the game. We had Belzy. We had Dusty. We had Zach, who scored a penalty shot.
Zach
I saw that on his Instagram actually.
So
Yeah.
they on Friday, they sold donations for penalties and somebody paid for Zach to get a penalty shot, actually 2 penalty shots. So the Heavy Hockey scored early in the first game. And our coach, Coach Pizza Boy, 2-0, baby, he went out there and he immediately called for Zach's penalty shot. Zach went, spun around like Linus Olmark, came in, took a slapper, 5-hole.
A slap shot on a breakaway. Okay, so you got to tell me what's Zach's skill level on hockey.
Oh, Glenn Ma, thank you. He was on the other team, but then was traded to us for Tom Gazzola. Zach was better this year. He's improved quite a bit. Last year he had he stumbled, like actual stumbles. This year he was better.
Okay,
Again,
good.
scoring the goal. That was, I think, a big turning point.
Slap shot. Could you imagine that?
I've always thought about it, but I've never actually pulled that off.
Here's the thing. Last year we lost big. Like the first game was close. The second game we lost control early, and we just couldn't come back.
You were so rattled last year.
Absolutely. But come get a sip.
There it is.
I will.
Drink the Dusty in here to drink from the Finnish long drink.
Oh boy.
Get in there.
Finish long drink cup.
No one else has gotten to drink out of it fully yet, but any of the boys that were on the team or the gal, come on down and that's a good drink from there, Dusty too.
Oh.
How's that feel?
Like accomplishment.
Yeah, accomplishment. Trev, if you want to jump in there, feel free.
Finish long drink is delicious.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
At 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But when it's from a
I
cup,
drink before 9. Right?
when it's from the championship, it tastes even better.
Well, obviously.
It's just absolutely. Where was so I think so the Heavy Hockey scored though. I feel like that could have been like oh boy, here we go again. This is gonna be tough. But Zach getting the penalty and scoring. I think it was just like that was the turning point. This is our day. This is our day, boys and
If
gals.
there's a
This is
video
our day.
of Zach's penalty shot slapper, I want to see it.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
that.
know
I
if-
got to see this. Could you imagine Connor McDavid gets a penalty shot in the playoffs and he pulls up at the hash marks and throws a slapper? I mean, the goalie would have no clue it was coming, but my goodness, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Pizza Boy, Maddie's brother is a Yanmark doppelganger, but with the ability to beat a goalie. And he also saying what a difference good coaching makes. Well done. Great coach. Stoic on the bench. Good spoke when needed to.
Were you the head coach last year?
No, I was the assistant to
you were the
Coach Pete.
assistant coach last year. Okay.
And I Coach Pete, I don't know what Dash was doing on the other side. He relegated to Coach Pete to opening and closing a door. He's supposed to be the head coach. I'm not gonna put that one on Coach Pete. I'm gonna put that one on Dash there. I just followed the lead of our coach though, Pizza Boy. And he came and he gave the boys the speech before the game, and there was a couple timeouts called by the other team because they didn't know what they were doing. They couldn't handle the heat from Team Edmonton Sports Talk.
Even getting Tommy Gazzola on their team, they still couldn't handle the heat. Hey,
Just, you can't deal with it. So here's what happened with Tommy. For those that didn't hear,
explain this, yeah.
and I don't know how much the morning show boys went into this. So we won game 1, Team Edmonton Sports Talk. There was 2 games, obviously, as we've said. We won game 1. One of the coaches, Coach Mike, he was thankful. He donated $300 to become the assistant coach of the other team. So thank you to him for that donation. He came to me. He says, "We want to make a trade with you guys." And I was like, "Well, I'm not. We just won game 1. Why am I making a trade?
Yeah.
I'm trading. Like, there's no point in doing this." So I'm like, "No, like no one's going to want to trade." So he walked into our locker room. Maybe this is my fault for letting him even in the locker room. Goes and says, "Who wants to play? Who wants to join our team?" And everyone's like, no, we're not doing that. Like Dusty, like looked disgusted by it. Everyone else was like, no, like this is this is our team. Go away. And then Tommy steps up. He's like, "I'll do it." And Tommy just traded himself off of Team Edmonton Sports Talk. Just traded himself away from us. And we're like, "What are you doing, Tommy?" And he stayed in our room the rest of the intermission.
No.
So he was getting heat from all the boys. I'm like, "Why are you ditching us here? Like, what are you doing?" And then he went out and he joined the Team Heavy Hockey. And thank you to all the nasties in the audience, most notably Norman at Combine and Big Uke and VR. I think those were the big 3. Every time Tommy touched the puck, he got booed. And he would touch the puck and be boo. It was great.
Now, I'm sure, though, that it was a no-hit hockey game, right? But
it is, and then Belsey put him into the boards.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Game 2.
You had to have roughed Tommy up a little bit for making that decision during the game.
Belsey did at one point get him around at the boards and get a shot in. Also, at the end of the game, we were up 1. Belsey went on the ice, and he played keep away with the puck. He didn't want to give up that puck. He was going up against Tommy and drew a penalty. Tommy took Belsey down, got the penalty. He went to the box.
How did he get Belsey down? That would take a lot of work.
By cheating, Murray.
Okay.
By cheating.
Well, that's why I got
That's
the penalty. How. He'd be a tough guy to haul down.
So, yeah, that was Tommy's. That's why Tommy's not allowed to drink from this cup. He left us. He ditched us. And then actually, in the end, we did trade for Glenn Ma. So thank you, Glenn, for joining us and sticking with the winners. This is our trophy now.
Did you want to see the replay of the slap shot?
Oh my gosh.
Or you lived
I'm
it?
good right now.
Yeah.
We'll have to get that on the EST socials.
I don't even know if I'd call that a slap shot. His stick was up a little bit, but I don't know.
A slap
I like
shot
the
for
celly
Zach.
too.
Yeah, it was a good celly. The celly
he's pumped.
celly
Little
was good.
Yager.
Yeah, he was
pumped.
He
was
was.
excited.
He's coming back. He just put his arms up and like glided, and the boys were pumped. And gal.
What was the score in the first game? You said you pumped them. What was the score?
I think anyone watching would know a little bit better because we think they forgot to put up one of our goals. I want to say it ended 8-5.
Oh, well, that's not a pumping.
But it was never close. After the first goal, like they scored the first goal and then we took a nice lead. And then anytime they'd like get one, we'd score one, and we just kept the distance the entire time. It was never in doubt.
Are you questioning the refereeing in this game if they forgot to put a goal up for you guys? Is that what you're doing here?
Oh, I'm questioning the ref for something else.
Oh, well.
Okay, so let's break this down. On Friday, we mentioned the donation for Zach's penalty shot. There was also donations made for penalties. People donated so that Tommy would get 2 penalties called against him. And then there was also people paid for 2 random penalties to be called against our team that the other team could call at any point in the game. They could just say all of a sudden, man advantage, penalty box.
Oh, boy.
So going into game 2, they took Tommy from us, but they still had 1 Tommy penalty. And they called the Tommy penalty on us. And the ref's like, you guys are taking a penalty. So I called Surveyor Brett over. I'm like, no. Tommy's not on our team. The donation was for Tommy to go into the penalty box. Tommy's not playing for us. He says, no, it's for Gazzola. And I made Brett open up his book where he had them. And it said 1 penalty for Tommy. It specifically said for Tommy. Yeah. And I'm like, Tommy's on the other side. He's like, well, you shouldn't have traded him. I'm like, I didn't trade him. He left us. The other team took him from us. This wasn't Edmonton Sports Talk's fault. How are we going a man down? And our bench was just like, how's this possible? How's this happening? It helped motivate us to get that victory. Well, Surveyor Brett, didn't like that call. He was fine beyond that. But that was a bad call, Brett.
Did you kill that
Look at your
penalty
book.
off?
No, we didn't.
You didn't? They scored on
They
that power
scored.
play? Oh.
Did Tommy score it on his own penalty?
Oh.
I don't know if he scored.
Boy.
That would have been
On
salt in
that
the
one.
wound there.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
scored. They scored on it even.
Oh.
It was unacceptable.
So did you go after Surveyor Brett a little bit more after they scored on the
There was
PP?
nothing else I could do. I didn't want to take another penalty. It was a tie hockey game at that point.
Sometimes you got to stand up for your team, man. You got to take one for the team. And
But here's the
give
thing,
it to
Murray.
'em.
Didn't need to because my team responded. Our team responded, and we got the win. We got the trophy, Murray.
That's accurate. You do.
We did. We handled it
spite
right.
of Surveyor Brett, you got the trophy.
It's off like it in his book. Penalty for Tommy. It didn't say Gazzola because then they could have went with like Paulie go in the
Yeah.
box. It said for Tommy, and Tommy was playing on the other team, and then Tommy wasn't in the box. That penalty should have been lost. They should not have been able to call that. Unacceptable.
Oh,
We had to see. We didn't just have to beat Team Heavy Hockey. We had to beat the officials. And Edmonton Sports Talk prevailed.
you know, people would think it's an honor to and a thrill to play hockey with your brother, and he chooses to go on the other team and not play with his brother.
And then Paulie won the MVP of the game.
Yeah.
And the chant started from the crowd. Paulie's better.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
maybe Paul should replace Tommy G. It should be Paulie G on the EST instead of Tommy G.
We've actually tried to get Paulie on before. He's just busy with his work, and it's hard for him to cut away and stuff.
Well, they could just
But he
switch
might have
jobs.
to. We'll have to do that.
If he doesn't want to, if Tommy doesn't want to be part of EST, see ya. Go get a real job, Tommy.
Jason the Arcadian, I'll give myself a little props here. I'll take Maddie as a coach anytime. Always had our backs. I got you guys. I got it. I'll always have the team's back. Last year I didn't have the team's back though because they lost. So
So you threw him under the bus.
Surveyor Brett. Well, next time I'll just have to override the trade as that wasn't in the rules either. Yeah, sure. Override. Wait, but you're just the ref. You don't get to choose the trading or all that. But still, yeah, override the trade. I don't care. The penalty was for Tommy. Tommy wasn't. They should have had a penalty kill. Tommy should have went in the. They called a penalty on themselves.
I agree.
That's what should have happened.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Perhaps this game needs a commissioner now to sort through some of this stuff.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to improve on Team EST for next year. I've already got it in my mind.
Get another former NHLer.
No, I don't need that
Yes.
even.
Yeah.
Belsey was hungover coming to it.
Hungover
Actually,
former NHL player is still going to be the best player on
Beautiful backhand goal from him.
the ice. Did he?
There are I got to give props to one more person from our team, but their goalie kind of like left over his shoulder completely open, and Belsey with
Backhand shell.
just a dart from his backhand.
Wow.
And I had like a perfect angle of it from where I was standing on the bench, just straight up into it. And I'm like, and it's like when you watch NHLers not against NHLers, that's also a way to just be in awe
Yeah.
of how, and like Belsey clearly is not going that hard. He was
And-
telling me on bench, he's like, these games sometimes are tough because it's like you don't know your level. You don't want to score a bunch of goals and be this like showboat or something. So like you try to find that line for it.
What a
But then
problem to
on
have.
that goal,
Yeah,
actually,
no kidding.
prior was Dash, the assistant coach, who kind of elevated himself to the head coach, it seems, of heavy hockey. He called out Belsey. So Belsey took that personal and went and scored that goal.
So he probably could have just gone and scored anytime he really felt like it.
To a degree. But I know ways to improve next year. So Team Heavy Hockey, they could maybe come together and try to. I'm at the top now. As the manager of this team, to stay at the top, you always look ways to improve. You don't just be satisfied. I know how to improve.
Spoken like a real winner.
Yeah, that's why we have the trophy. Brendan. That's why Team EST has this trophy for the next year, and we can drink out of it whenever we want.
One in a row, baby.
One in a row.
The streak has to start somewhere.
Has to start somewhere, and it's live on the show now. It's out there. This entire office just gets to celebrate for an entire year except one person.
You should take another sip.
I'm going too soon.
Yeah.
I'm going too soon. It's very exciting. Combine line, drop the mitts first shift. Yeah, actually, Norm was joking. Norm in a combine that they'll do an entire line and they'll get 5 people and it'll just be the whole combine
Oh my
group
gosh.
on the ice at some point. Great time still. Dash is actually going to join us on the show tomorrow. We'll recap the event with him. We'll recap how much we raised for SACE. And hopefully we'll be able to announce which team won the top fundraising trophy, which To a degree, it's more important than this one, in the grand scheme of things.
For sure.
So it was. We had a fun time at the watch party at Boston Pizza on Friday. Great event on Saturday. So next year we'll be 2-0. Well, 2 in a row.
You sticking your chest out. You're so proud.
I was proud of the team.
Yeah.
They showed up. Actually, one of our guys on the team, I don't even know who it was. He was a great player. I had to give props to someone else. He won the 50-50 too.
Wow.
We were getting ready for game 2.
You're
We're all
just
standing
winning
there.
everything.
Well, we're standing there, and they announced the winning 50-50, and he's looking at his ticket on the bench, and he's like, I think I won. And we're like, what's the number again? And they read it again. He's like, I won. And we're like, oh, sweet.
How did he have the ticket on his bench? Where was he keeping it?
I don't know.
That's in his jock strap or
Our goalie,
Magician's code.
unbelievable.
our goalie was unbelievable, by the way.
Who was your goalie?
I don't know.
Oh.
He made some amazing saves. He had a great glove hand. He robbed them a few times. No offense to Paulie. I think he should have been the MVP of the tournament or the thing. He was unbelievable in that. So I'll give round of clicks to him right there for what he did, and round of clicks to everyone for being involved with that. So yeah, he was unbelievable.
What was the score in the second game? 8-5 in game 1. Game 2 was
It was a 1-goal game, 5-4.
5-4.
Or no,
Okay.
did we score an empty netter? We might have scored an empty netter to put it away. Maybe we didn't. Oh, now I can't remember. It was a 1-goal game.
Did it go back and forth, or was it a lead?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I don't remember it fully. I can't remember who got the. I think we got the lead, but then they tied it. I think they took the lead. We took the lead. They tied it, and then we won it ultimately. So
What was the intensity like in the game, though? I saw the little video clip there. Like, it's not. It didn't look like it was everyone going hardcore.
It's a mixed level of skill.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, there are some people that really don't play hockey that much, and they come out and they just want to play.
Yeah. I'm just.
And then
part
there's
of it.
people that are quite good.
Yeah.
The people that are quite good, some of them at times do pick it up and play a little harder. I think they know who they're going up against.
Yeah.
So if they see someone who's a little bit better, they'll maybe pick it up against that person. But it's the quality of play. Like, you don't have to actually play hockey well to join this. It's truly for
fun,
everyone,
yeah.
and it's a good time and stuff. So it's hard to answer that because there's the different levels of players in there. But with that, I would say then it never gets too intense because the top players know that, like, okay, well, we're not. This is also for charity.
So there's more intensity behind the bench with you than there is with the players on the ice. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Yeah, when Survey Brett's going to make a terrible call like that.
I
Yeah,
get it,
absolutely. Somebody's going to defend. Somebody's got to defend the team, and we can't risk Coach Pizza Boy being knocked out. Coach Pete, like, if somebody's getting kicked off that bench, we can't allow our coach the assistant needs to go. That's where I step up. I get kicked off. Who cares? Our coach is still there.
But you didn't take one for the
big
team. You didn't give Surveyor Brett the gears.
He skated away. Something else I could do.
You could have started throwing sticks on the ice, water bottles.
But those are my players. They need those.
Yeah, you don't want to break one of their sticks. They're expensive.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Surveyor Brett. It was a decent pace, but by the fourth period, guys are gassed out. It's like, it's a lot of hockey. Like, you're playing again 4-18s, and it's stopped. Like, it's not runtime or anything like that.
And you did say that you did have a full bench though, 60 and 4.
Yeah, we ultimately,
pretty good.
We're rolling out 4 lines, 3D pairings.
And the other team had the same.
I don't know. Like, it was when I looked over, it's a full bench.
Yeah.
I don't know if it worked out perfectly for us. It ended up working out perfectly. We're able to, because Tommy and Belzy joined late because they had Hello Hockey. That went till noon. We started at noon. And Tommy. Oh, I forgot. I don't know if they brought it up on the morning show today. Tommy gave his skates sometime before Hello Hockey to Rogan Dean of the Oil Kings to get them sharpened.
Okay.
There was miscommunication or something, and it was the longest skate sharpening in the history of skate sharpening because we're playing this game. Tommy's standing on our bench in flip-flops going, hey, Rogan went for lunch.
Oh, no.
And didn't sharpen his skates or something. So by the time Tommy played with us, there was like 4 minutes left in the first game. Missed like almost the entire thing. Did score a nice goal. My brother with tape-to-tape pass, like beautiful pass to Tommy. Sent Tommy in alone. Tommy did score for us, so bravo, Tommy. But the longest skate sharpening ever. But so they were on till noon, so we had to start playing without those two. So we had 6D. Oh, Grumpy Cat is who I'm missing. Grumpy Cat also played with us. He scored a goal.
Grumpy Cat.
He was one of our defensemen. So I think the forward groups, they were just rolling players out. And then once those joined, those two boys joined, then we're able to have 12 forwards and roll the lines.
Perfect.
It's great. Great time.
You know, when you talk about Belzy as a former NHL player and, you know, what he could have done out there, there's a group of golf pros and golf industry people that play like shinny pickup hockey on Friday afternoons here in the city. There's an assistant pro at Cougar Creek that played a couple of years in the American Hockey League. And he's not a regular in this shinny game, but he showed up and played one day. And like all these guys, I mean, it's just for fun and whatnot, but they, you know, I think some of them like to think they're pretty good and stuff like that. And I guess this guy showed up and it's just like, oh my God. Like,
You show them that what level they actually are.
Right. And these guys were, I mean, they raved about it, but I work on Monday and I'm asking how Friday hockey went. And they're telling me about this guy showed up and he just absolutely was, they were just blown away at how good he was. And he wasn't a guy that was scoring 15, 20 goals in the A. He was just like, probably a fourth liner, but a fourth liner in the A skates circles around all these golf pros playing hockey. And, you know, it's just another level. And, you know, Belzy in the NHL, I mean, I'm sure, it was evident that his skill set was just off the charts compared to others. Yeah.
Just see him skate. Just the skating itself. You're just like, this is a different level.
This is just different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's not even at his best. Like, that's the thing, like there's more to what Belzy can do and stuff, but this is just, wow, look at this.
Yeah.
Pizza Boy saying any plans to hold a summer ball hockey tournament. I love hockey, but can't skate. It's not something I'd be looking at early. I have thought of a street hockey tournament again. Did you ever play on the
No, I
Play
missed
On?
it.
I think it was called Play On, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Hockey Night in Canada sponsored it for a while. They would do it at West Ed. They used to do it. There used to be one years ago in the Coliseum parking lot. They then brought it downtown, I know. Those were always fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of buddies that went and did those. Yeah, never any complaints. They would make a weekend out of it and come up play ball hockey. And
I'm surprised we don't have the Play On tournament. Like, that doesn't keep happening.
Did it not get moved somewhere, or did they just shut it down all completely?
I don't think it happens anymore. Like, cause it would, and then they go through all the cities.
Yeah.
You'd have your weekends, and it was just a lot of
traveling
fun.
bus,
And it was what I think 3-on-3 hockey or something with a goalie.
3-on-3 ball hockey. Wow.
But then it's just street hockey, and they brought up like those construction type fences, and they'd put them around to make little mini rinks and stuff. And then there's different divisions. So there's lower level, higher level. There was more rec. There was more intense.
That sounds like a lot of work to put together. Holy.
Why? But that it was but it was nationwide, and they were like sponsored by Hockey Night in Canada and stuff, and there was a lot to it. And like, I don't think it was ever not sold. Like, there were people wanted to play in that, so I don't know why it's gone away. But I have thought of the idea of doing like a little street hockey tournament maybe one year, because street hockey is just a lot of fun. Not an actual ball hockey tournament or anything like that, but street hockey, I think that one's just even more inclusive overall.
Mm-hmm. What was that called? I'm gonna
Play On.
Play On ball.
Play On.
He knows all.
What was Play On hockey? Play On is back in 2024, so it might have been brought back last year. Where did they play? They're not saying anything about 2025 though.
There was no term in 2023 due to fundraising issues. However, Play On is still active as a nonprofit organization promoting street hockey across Canada. They have secured government funding for events in British Columbia, indicating ongoing activities. Canada Ball Hockey Association remains the national governing body for the sport. While specific details about current Play On ball hockey tournaments are limited, the organization continues to promote street hockey events. So they're around, but obviously the big event doesn't seem like it's happening anymore. I would guess COVID probably kiboshed it too, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at one thing. The last that might have been Edmonton was 2022, so just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But it was just always a blast. Actually, I remember just being younger, and you'd pay for the water bottle, and it'd be Gatorade or something like that, and you could just fill it up the whole tournament for free. Like, you just paid that like $15 or whatever, and then you just constantly just kept filling it up. And as a kid, you're just crushing those Gatorades because you just wanted to keep drinking it.
I was thinking, people aren't filling that up with Gatorades; they're filling that up with beer. But Maybe not at your age if you were a kid.
Oh, no, those kids, no, as a kid's like, yeah, you're 8 years old. You're not filling that up with beer. You don't know.
Some
But
8-year-olds might. I don't
maybe,
know.
but it was like, you're just like, you get to just crush Gatorades all weekend. It was great. Somebody did say Dallas Jackson.
Dallas, that's it.
That's what it is. Because he played against him last year in the PGA of Alberta 2-man best ball. Great guy.
And he hits the ball 8,000 miles too. He's
got
a
one?
big, strong man. But yeah, that's exactly who it is.
Yeah, Big Uke. That was 50% hungover Belsey.
Who was that?
Like skating is crazy. You can hear how crisp he was when he was cutting through the ice. Yeah, it was different sound even skating.
Who was that tweeted in about Dallas Jackson? Because
Jeff Carew? Sorry,
okay.
Jeff, if I'm mispronouncing your last name wrong. Or if
Yeah,
I'm mispronouncing your last name.
Yeah, I've met Jeff a time or two, I think.
Yeah. But back to Pizza Boy. The idea would be one day to potentially maybe do. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it to the boys, but I would like to do if street hockey doesn't come back. I'd like to do a little street hockey thing. It doesn't have to be anything major, and then everyone can play it. And there's ways to do it even if you don't want goalies. Like you can get those low nets or whatever if you want or something. Like there's ways to.
Sure.
If you don't want to, if no one wants, if you can't
posts.
find goalies, yeah, there's certain ways to do that.
Where do you do it? Right out front here?
You need parking.
That would
and
be
stuff, though.
I've wanted to do things in the street.
Yeah.
Well, this parking lot here is pretty decent size too.
That too.
On weekends, I think there's stuff we could do there.
Yeah.
It's also not a busy road.
On weekends, probably not.
That it's one. I don't think it'd probably take much to get the city to shut it down for an event if we wanted to.
Yeesh.
Two, it'd be one of those. I also love the idea of just having like playing street hockey on the street, but having to go car,
Yeah.
and picking
Oh,
up, walking off, waiting for the car, moving back out,
Unbelievable, yeah.
continuing the play, like going real full on street hockey. By the way, this is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life transitions. Canada's storage provider by Canadian. Right now, it's extended until March 31st, 75% off 8 weeks on 10 by 10 units, sentinel.ca. Brendan, the intern, Murray, McCourt, Matt Iwanyk with you here on the Hangout Live on Edmonton Sports Talk. I just want one more drink
Of course you do.
from this trophy. Dusty got his drink. No one else is coming. Maybe later people will get a sip in. Finnish long drink from the Heavy Hockey Showdown Championship. A drink has never tasted so better. It's so good.
Better.
Okay, I got to quickly get into something that happened while I was gone.
Oh boy.
This
I think you're
morning.
in trouble.
Well, no, no. I go in my office, first time in the building in over 2 weeks. Friday, a couple Fridays ago was my last time. I was gone for 2 weeks. I go in my office, I have a broken key. And a note, Brendan busted his key. Middle door, top of the stairs. Here it is. Thanks. Whose letter is this or note is this?
Mine.
Oh, you wrote this.
Yeah, and I left a smiley face for you.
You didn't say I busted the key.
Yeah,
and you just signed it with
third
your name.
person.
You went Brendan broke it. So then as if it was someone else's.
And it says thanks on the bottom too, so
Yeah.
he's being polite.
How do you break a key like
I don't know,
this?
man. I'm too strong, I think, maybe.
And look at those pipes, man.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Okay. At my
Have
golf
you ever
cour-
broken a key?
I have not, but at my golf course, I have probably maybe 5 or 6 keys a year end up on my desk like that I have to replace for people. And then get someone to come and take the, like, did that part not stay in the door?
Almost. That was the concerning part. I put it in the knob here at the front, or not the front door, but
He put it in the wrong door.
yes, I did. And then I twisted it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to work perfect. And then it got real
So where's
weak.
the other piece?
That's it. That's
No,
the whole
this
key.
isn't it.
Yeah.
Why?
It's because it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it does.
I don't feel like this. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
It does. Okay. And so nothing's stuck in that lock.
Yeah, no, because then I put it in the middle door there and it got, I didn't even want to turn it. I'm like, I'm just going to take that back out actually. And then
So
it
the first
folded
thing
as
I
soon
have
as
to
I
deal
took it
with-
out.
Yeah. For the first thing I have to deal with is this guy breaks a key.
Well, you don't have extra keys kicking around?
No. I actually have to go get one cut.
Man, what kind of manager of an operation are you if you don't have extra keys when stuff like that happens?
Because I don't need extra keys just in case I know the exact amount of keys that are out there and everyone has them. And if somebody needs, I go cut. It's actually really easy to cut keys these days. It's a machine.
Yes.
You just put them you don't need the person to actually cut it for you these days. You put the key in and it like registers and it cuts it for you. I for a while I didn't trust it because I don't trust AI like computers. I want to trust a human, but no issues.
I didn't think humans ever did do it. I mean, it makes sense. The computers aren't.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was always just a machine. You go to Rona and you're getting your plumbing or lights or whatever, and then you just toss it in the machine and see you later.
Nah, you still could, but you call someone.
Oh,
And there's like
at the key
there's
shop.
like a grinder type
It's
thing.
like a trade.
You do it at Rona or whatever, and they look at it. Or I don't know how they would do it, and they would grind it for you.
Oh,
I just don't think this is good, efficient use of your time, Matt. You're going to have to, the time you're going to have
I've
to
never had
drive down to do this. I mean, if you just had
It's on my way home.
a key press here, you just open the key
Oh,
press.
you're wanting me to
and go
just make my own keys?
No, but you get them made and then you just have a key press and you just go in and pluck the key out and here you go. It's done.
Yeah, but this is the first one to do it. We haven't had an issue, Murray.
Well, first time for everything.
I know.
It's probably going to happen again.
We'll have to go to is get the card system. Just fully. That's what we used to have with
yeah.
Bell. Like those secure
Exactly.
ones where you could disable a card.
Yeah, you could punish him if he wrecked a key.
I can make him go do it.
Well, yeah.
Here's the money. Go get it done, Brendan.
Whoa. Maybe as punishment. He has to replace the key out of his own pocket for his.
learn a lesson.
Mhm.
I can't do that.
No.
But you know how cheap I would look on that one, Edmonton's first I would look on that one. But maybe make him take the time to go do it. But then I'd have to give him my key and then I'm out of a key.
Oh, the first world problem.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't break a key.
I'll try my best.
20
I
push-ups.
can't 20
20
right now.
push-ups.
Can I do it off the camera? I don't know how 20 push-ups would look these days.
Well,
I think I could do 20 push-ups.
You think?
Yeah.
Right now?
Would agree. It's actually really warm though. Maybe not. How many do you think? I shouldn't say you think. I think no, you know. Without a break, how many can you get done?
might be able to push 40.
Yeah.
But
That's not. Is that your height? Because you had the surgery, weren't able to do it. You're back.
well, I was doing
What?
sets. I was doing 120 push-ups a day, but 4 sets of 30. But once you start to get up there, I mean, they start to hurt. It's you slow down as you're climbing in the old push-ups. But I'm not young. It's a young guy like you should be able to throw down 20 pretty easy.
Not long ago.
Not long ago.
Yeah, I forgot how to do push-ups and sit-ups and all those things in the last couple of years.
the beer's taken over.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That happens when you.
Maybe one day we'll get back into it, but
Mm.
I don't know. It's been pretty nice just
pretty
not
nice
worried
not
about
doing
push-ups.
Yeah.
What about you, Matty?
I never did sit-ups. Push-ups, I used to be able to do okay. I think I was able to get to like 35.
Yeah.
I think in a row. But I don't know if I have the best form. I won't lie. Like I'm sure if I was doing
you
it,
could have
somebody
some
like
snobs
would
about
look
that
there and
too,
be
eh?
like, "Yeah, you're not going low enough" or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay. Well, then I'm really not doing this properly."
Well, this morning, part of my workout this morning was feet elevated push-ups. I had to do
Oh,
three
gross.
3 sets on those, but it was a superset with some other chest stuff. So I mean, it burns.
All before you came in today.
Geez, I'm a workout junkie, man. I'm up at 4:30 every day working out. Yeah. I know.
I'd rather pay for the key.
You'd rather pay for the key. Yeah, I got 2 hours of working out in this morning.
Oh,
Before
my
I came
goodness.
here.
Bryce the Sparker could be there in 20 minutes to sip out of the cup. Bryce, anytime you're in the neighborhood, we'll
20 minutes isn't that long.
We'll get a drink in for you. Don't worry. You don't have to even rush today. Anytime you're in the neighborhood, you're a champ. Tommy's not, but you are forever a champ. We'll get you a key fixed. Just don't break it.
You know what? I think you should fix the air conditioning too, because it is warm in here today.
It's very warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys got big, thick hoodies on. I don't know how you're handling it.
Yeah. It's in the winter, we have the AC going because it actually gets too hot, weirdly enough. And then as it gets nice out, we can never get the AC going, and it just gets too warm in here. Again, like it's I don't think in their 19 months here we've ever actually had it figured out. Last summer, I remember they came and they fixed the AC, and like for a day it was working, and then the next day it wasn't working again. So I don't know what's going on. My office is nice and cool. I will say that.
Well, you can probably open your window too.
Our windows don't open here.
They don't open.
That?
Oh boy.
No.
Feels like trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a former prison or
There's a former concert venue.
this?
We've never told you the story.
What?
It was Mead Hall. He used to host concerts here. Mark Mead Hall, MEAD.
Mead.
Mark Rogers from CGSR, he came in and he was telling us that he's been here for shows before. And when we first opened this place, when we were giving away Nielsen Show lawn signs, we had people showing up to pick them up. And we had a few people like, yeah, I came here for the concerts back in the day. Shut down for drugs.
That checks.
Mm-hmm. Drugs just ruin everything.
This is mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's why it's like this building was, if you go around and you look, like it's clearly the walls have been put up post building. Like it's very poorly renovated and stuff in various ways. That's because they shut down the concert hall, then made it into an office space and stuff. Yeah. Huh. But yeah, no windows. Although I like, cause we've in my office and where Gager sits, there's a building at, like, I guess it's all one building. We're 2 stories and then there's a 1 floor building next to us that's all attached or whatever. And there's a nice roof on it. And I want to sit out there. Like I was like, it would be a great spot to put some patio chairs and sit in the summer, but we can't get out there because we don't have windows.
This is mind-boggling. I'm just blown away by this. And like, what a building this is, because there's what is that downstairs? Like a Russian spa or something?
Banyas. You can get a banya in on you. You went to the massage.
Well, I went there for a massage, but then I learned that there's this like bathhouse thing or something. I don't know what the heck
like
it is.
saunas and stuff, and it's a thing called a banya or something like that. And then there's a
what language is
management.
banya? Because I don't know what that means. You know what banya means?
Not a clue.
All
I'd like to know the layout down there. Like, you walk in to the left, and it's just like a L of rooms, or how that works.
Zach got taken for a tour down there one day.
Well,
he
How
was
did he
here.
swing that?
He was walking out, and Victor and a buddy of his were outside, and they started talking, and then they took Zach in for like a 2-hour tour of their place. It was a great story. Banya, Banya. It's a Russian banya. A banya word origin. We're going to learn something today.
Yeah.
The word banya, referring to a Russian steam bath, likely has roots to a Proto-Slavic banya, which is a possible connection to the Latin word balneum, which is a bath. So it's some sort of, it might be Russian or something, the actual word banya and stuff.
So I'm going to guess if that was here when this was a concert hall, some people might have met at the concert and then went downstairs to the Russian bathhouse.
No, the concert, I think, how did people say it? The concert place was more downstairs than upstairs. I can't remember what was upstairs for it all.
Huh.
Yeah, banya, it looks like it's just the steam. We could all go for a steam after the hangout, Murray.
That is team building right there.
I got a tour because
Up to 8 people, I think they said.
well, there's different rooms that are different sizes.
The
so
Swedish room is up to 8 people.
Yeah.
There's an entertainment area, herbal tea, and detox water. The Siberian room's up to 6, and the Scandinavia is up to 4. We could book 2 rooms, and boom, we have EST team building at the banya.
In the banya. Ooh, that might be a little more team building than you need, though.
You're not in? Not
yeah.
put you down as a maybe?
Yeah, I'll be a maybe on that one. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go get like a standing post hangout reservation, and after each hangout, I'm gonna look at the people that are on, and be like, banya.
Yeah. Well, so I had a massage girl that I'd seen for a long time, and she left the place that she was doing massages at, and she came here, and so I was coming here for massages, and then find out this is where EST is. I'm like, Jesus, guys, I go see a massage therapist downstairs. So when this was getting built out and stuff, I kept coming up here to see how the guys were doing while they were building it out after my massages. But one time the massage girls gave me a tour of that place, and I'm like, what? People do this? Like, I don't know, it was a little weird. So I saw all those rooms, and she, I guess people like rent it out for like corporate parties or retreats, and you can bring your
Team
own
building.
alcohol in and stuff like that. And I'm just like, alcohol and saunas. I
Sounds
don't know.
wonderful.
Well,
It sounds like you probably get pretty good bang for your buck. Like, I don't know if you ever had a couple beverages in a hot tub. They work pretty quick.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would imagine the same sort of deal. No,
It's the one thing we can't have around here is a hot tub because I don't think we'd ever get Dusty out of it. Like that, he would move the studio around the hot tub, and the morning show would be done every day inside a hot tub because Dusty loves his hot tubs.
Well, might make for a good YouTube television.
just take out the desk.
We're just gonna load in a hot tub in there.
Hey, that means VIP golf shows. Can we do this before my show starts back up in May?
You want to get the hot tub in before the show?
Absolutely.
So that you and Curtis, you and Stalker could sit in that hot tub talking golf for 2 hours.
I'm not sitting in a hot tub with Stalker. Stalker can sit on the side, but I'll indulge in the hot tub and relax. But
Maybe we'll need a third room. We'll have to have the hot tub studio room.
yeah,
We need a main, like when it's important days, like we can't just be sitting in a hot tub.
Yeah, it's tough to be taken seriously.
Doing trade
Oilers trade deadline day today.
We're all in the hot tub.
Sure, I'm shirtless in the hot tubs. That'll go well.
Well, when everyone's on their cell phones checking the insiders, okay, yeah, what's LeBron saying now? Oh, Oilers made a trade.
How was trade deadline around here? Fun?
Lots,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know if like Oilers traded for an injured guy that hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
One more week, I think, is
With
what I
retained
heard.
salary.
With retained salary, but
Twice.
two draft picks. So, you better hope that he gets back in 1 week. And could you imagine you trade? Was it a second and a third round draft pick? No,
I think it was a first.
and second round draft pick. If you traded a first and second round draft pick for a guy that plays, 10 games in a regular season, and you get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. That's not very good asset management, is it?
Max Jones, though.
The asset management, the part of that to me would be is if he doesn't end up actually playing in the regular season.
It
The
sounds
retained
like-
salary is the issue.
Yeah,
Sounds-
then you paid way too much for no reason.
And that's to a degree also. Why not just hold them off? Why
Well,
not just make that trade and keep him on the IR for most of the rest of this time?
Wow.
But like if that was, I think of the stuff I saw, I didn't see too much of trade deadline. I'm not going to lie. Didn't tune in much to the trade deadline.
You need him to play and
but-
get some chemistry with
Sure,
some line mates.
But
and
there
stuff
was
before playoffs.
no one knew for sure whether he was going to come back or not. And it was like, well, if he doesn't play in the regular season, you don't need the cap space. And you paid extra for retention, and that could really hurt. So, from the Oilers' sake, hopefully he comes back. But also for the Oilers' sake, hopefully you don't rush him back just to get him in the lineup.
and get some value out of all that those assets you dished up for him. But I don't know. It's interesting. Like I still the whole piece to the trade deadline with the Oilers though is what the heck is going on with Evander Kane, because they didn't use his LTIR money. So if they didn't use it, does that mean he's coming back right away? Or if he's
Well,
not
they announced that
coming
he's not coming back.
Oh, sorry, they announced that. Right,
He's not coming back till the
So why
playoffs.
did they not use his money? I don't get it.
Because
Well-
they sent their first away for an injured
Yes,
guy.
they had no more assets.
They
to
had
trade?
nothing. They had no assets at that
Yeah,
point.
so
I would
Savoy,
assume that you
guess.
could make a move.
Yeah, trade your 2030 first round pick.
Although, like, I think that's maybe where people then would look at the Brad Marchand trade and go, "How could you not?"
That's
get that done?
what I was going to bring up next. Yeah. How they get him for a conditional second, but you trade Frederick for a first plus.
Well, and the conditional second, like if it gets elevated to a first, it's like 2028 or something like that.
Yeah, bump down.
So it's like the Oilers have a 2028 first.
True. Spend it now.
I mean, like, when you look at like the Oilers have so little in the cupboard in terms of assets, including draft picks and especially prospects, and when they went on a run last year and they have nothing in the cupboard. When you look at a team like Tampa Bay, who's been going for it year after year after year after year. I mean, how do they still have assets that they're making moves even now when they're on the tail end of their window to win? I mean,
Joe is saying they did use the LTR money with Wallman and Frederick. I'd have to look closer at that one.
Yeah, I know.
I saw something that they would have to send down.
If he comes
Like,
back,
they would
they'd have
play
to send down
shorthanded.
like five guys or something.
Yeah, but they could make it work if Kane was to come back.
But they did actually end up using his LTR money.
Yeah, well,
That's what some
Just-
people are saying.
the roster's so full. Are they playing with a full roster right now? Do you know off the top of your head?
Thought they were.
Yeah.
I'd have
Because
to
who's-
look a little closer
it's
for yesterday's roster.
Ekholm, Klingberg, and then probably Jeff Skinner by
Full.
default. He's played the last couple. But yeah, I think there's 3 guys sitting in the stands. All these games.
Yeah, there's extra bodies around. I mean, they were on the road trip. Now they're coming back home. They could maybe pare that down a little bit if they wanted to. But I mean, I guess it's not really that easy to get guys up here from Baco either. So you need something around. But yeah, I did hear that too. That if Kane did want to come back a little bit early, they'd have to send like 5 guys down.
They could make it work
and play with 18 guys or something like that. And yikes. I don't know. Overall, though, for the Oilers, for me, it was an underwhelming trade deadline. Would you?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Wallman thing was, if that didn't happen, it would have been a little extra scary.
Well, and even Wallman, he played really good in that first game. Been okay since?
Yeah,
Like,
he's not going to be game breaking, but
Yeah.
he definitely adds a little bit more than what Klingberg did, kind of thing.
and he's having a good year this year, was having a good year in San Jose. But man, the thing that just sticks out for me with that trade is a year, not even a year before, Detroit gave San Jose him for nothing and added a 2nd-round draft pick to him just to get rid of him. So Detroit obviously didn't think very much of his game. And so he goes to San Jose, plays pretty well. And how's that for asset management in San Jose? Then they trade him and get a first. So they had Wallman for 2/3 of a season and got a first and a second to have him on the team for 2/3 of a season. Wow. That is good GMing right there.
I'll say in the course of a calendar year, my career went from people going, what a terrible GM, like with the Hurdle trade and a few other things last year, to all of a sudden, maybe actually he knows what he's doing.
Well, he tore everything down again, though. I thought like he traded a couple of pretty decent players away, and he just totally stripped it down again. So I'm starting to wonder where their end game might be in this. They've got a couple of great pieces to play with Celebrini, but Celebrini doesn't always play with on that line either. So I don't know. Like they got not much on their NHL roster right now at all, and so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. They were clearly tanking to get Schaefer. They don't have. Well, they do have Sam Dickinson on there that they drafted last year as a up and coming D-man, but they're absolutely, if they get number 1 overall, they're taking Schaefer for sure because they need that really elite defenseman in their prospect pool. So they're tanking for him.
I was confused by the Zetterlund trade too.
That's
like what do you?
Why are you trading him?
And to your point of tanking, I guess.
Yeah.
But that one came across late, and it was kind of just a head scratcher. What are you guys doing?
Got Noah Gregor back.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that to me was a full on tank trade.
Yeah.
And, at a certain stage, you might want to keep some of those better young players and try to get better, because now I'm looking at them and I see not much there for them to, like, they'll probably be the worst team in the league again next year.
Probably.
And maybe that's why they're doing it. If they get Schaefer this year, they're the worst team in the league next year, and get McKenna.
Could you imagine?
McKenna, Celebrini, and Will Smith.
Yeah.
Oh my. And I think they have a couple other pretty decent forwards in the mix. Cristal they got coming up to, like, that would be ridiculous. So maybe that's what they're doing. And it wouldn't be the worst play in the world, I guess.
What did you make of your team trading away Seth Jones?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was
a nice little return.
That return was unbelievable. Because basically, Seth Jones did the exact same thing Rantanen did, said, you're trading me to Dallas or Florida.
Yep.
Those are the only 2 choices. Dallas said no, because they probably had an inkling that they might have had a deal going for Rantanen or something. So, I mean, to go to Florida and say, hey, this is the only spot Seth Jones is willing to go, and give me a 1st-round pick and Spencer Knight. Okay, sure, we'll do that. Like, whoa, that's pretty good trade. I'm very thrilled with that. And Spencer Knight has been extremely good for the Blackhawks so far. And interesting, the dressing room dynamic with the player. The Blackhawks. I mean, we're rebuilding too, but 3-0-2 in the first 5 games after Seth Jones was traded. I think that's
So Seth Jones was the problem.
Well, I think chemistry issue. But Seth Jones one game I saw the other day, Seth Jones had 27 minutes for Florida. Like, so because Ekblad's out, they're leaning on him a ton. But then their last game, he was -3 in their last game here on the weekend.
Full experience.
So, I mean, his consistency maybe with them isn't. When what I'm hearing, they're happy with him, but I haven't heard anything since the -3 game.
Yeah. Well, and for $7 million, right? Because you guys are eating 2.5 for the next 5 seasons.
Yeah,
That's easier to stomach too for
well,
for Florida.
like people were right because I believe Seth Jones at $7 million is a great.
I agree.
But man, like a lot of people were saying before that trade, a lot of people were saying that Seth Jones is going to have to get retained at half, and then the Blackhawks are going to get nothing for him. And I'm like, well, then don't trade him. Like, it makes absolutely zero sense to do that. And then so to get Spencer Knight, and so Spencer Knight's first game in Chicago, I mean, it was in Chicago, and the fans already just love him. I mean, because the fans didn't like Seth Jones because they felt he was overpaid. And so Spencer Knight is automatically like a hero in Chicago just because he's what they got for.
Well, did he pitch a shutout in that first one? Or
No,
like he was
played
40.
unbelievable. 45 saves and let in 1 goal.
Yeah. Well, he's going to flourish there. Like the only
will.
issue he had, well, maybe not the only issue, I guess, but playing behind Bob, how are you supposed to get your foot in the door, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you got every opportunity.
Yeah.
Seen that guy play juniors and all the way through. Like, there's a reason he was a 15th overall pick.
Right. And now in the Blackhawks rebuild, Knight is their number 1 goalie, and Soderblom, who had a terrible night on Saturday against Vancouver, let in 6 on 15 shots. Ouch. But he's been really good, for the most part all year. So Knight number 1, Soderblom number 2. Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're 23 and 24 years old. The Blackhawks are playing 11 guys 23 years of age and under right now.
That's
crazy.
I don't want to be the guy that's just rehashing old things that I missed over the week and all that, but I'm assuming there was discussion maybe last week about Ekblad's suspension and the timing of it, where conveniently the Panthers are able to trade for Seth Jones and then post that the news comes, like it screams like the Panthers knew that was coming.
Yeah, for sure.
The NHL allowed them to go make a move and then they announced it, because if that news comes out before, Blackhawks could ask for more, right? Like you could ask for more. You could do more.
Night, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that was discussed or not.
I don't think so. I think this is this might be a new
I don't
thought.
care about the cup final. I know maybe some jokingly was like, well, what happened in the cup final from last year? I'm just going to look at this year and go, when did the Panthers get told this? When did they know that this suspension was coming? And if they were allowed to make a move before it was announced, that is BS. That shouldn't have been allowed. But it screams like that's what happened here. That the NHL said, this guy's getting suspension right away here, and the Panthers were allowed to go make a move. Because like I said, if that news broke prior, teams are then holding the Blackhawks can hold them feet to fire a little bit more, going, you need somebody for these next. Now, maybe, I guess maybe the one difference is it's only 20 games. I think it's only 2, 3, 4 playoff games approximately. Yeah. So maybe it doesn't change that much because you're expecting that, okay, whatever, it's just a couple playoff games. It's not.
But that's a tight race for that division too.
Sure, absolutely. So I didn't like that look where they go trade for Seth Jones and then that's on the Friday.
Marchand because his money's not on the cap right now either, right? If he's suspended,
I think it would be.
Is money on the cap or not on the cap?
I feel like suspension money is on the cap. I don't think you
I have no idea.
Because also Marchand last second, right, going there. I mean, there was retention too, but boy, that's still a lot of money.
Did you hear or see the clip of the boardroom when, I don't know if it was Sweeney, but Boston? Yeah. It was pretty quiet in there.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of like, hey, nice move. Good job. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Good deal.
A lot of silence.
Oh, yeah. It was just, and he just like kept adding to it. And they were just like, I think he was waiting. Maybe somebody would say something, but no. It was, yeah, Marchand to Florida. It's a second. If it'll be a first. If they get through 2 rounds of the playoffs.
50%.
And he plays 50% of the games. Like it was just this long. And you're just like, yeah. That room was just like, oh, this happened?
Yeah.
Oof.
Shocker, yeah. Ekblad's also UFA at the end of the year, so I think Ekblad's probably done in Florida.
Okay, they are saying his money isn't on the cap.
Isn't on the cap, so that probably helped them get more
Off ice
too.
suspensions don't count against the cap. I don't think. I think that rule should change.
I agree with you there again.
If
Yeah,
your player did something,
you should get penalized.
they're
for
not
it.
playing like otherwise.
So the team get punished or the player
It's
get
your
punished?
employee. You shouldn't get
I
cap
think
relief for
both.
that. If
Yeah.
if you get cap relief too, then
Or
like,
even maybe a percentage.
Alright,
Like you
sure.
could meet in the middle and say
50% of his cap
still.
sits on you because you lost him because you
Yeah.
did something wrong.
Maybe you should have a better pulse on what this guy was putting in his body.
Pay attention to your players. Pay
Okay.
attention to what's going on. Because now the Panthers, again, they got full. Like, he is going to
Yeah.
miss again. The
and
numbers
then
I'm
just
forgetting,
in
like
time
4
for
games.
game 3, he's going to put the
Back
skate
for the
boots
playoffs,
back on.
and they get LTIR money in a sense. They get extra cap space because their player tested positive for a banned substance, and he's only going to miss most of the regular season and not much of the playoffs. And like the Panthers then win
like
out
this.
in many ways off of this.
Okay, so YouTube Trev goes and robs a bank. Because he works here, should EST get punished? Or
You're relating
should
the real
YouTube-
world to sports, and the sports isn't real world. The sports is a very different world. Things aren't. Things are like just let's start. If we want to do these definitions in hockey, you don't get a pick where you play right off the bat. You are forced to go play for a
Sure.
team.
unless you're
That doesn't
Eric
happen in
Lindros.
the real world. Like when Brendan came for his internship, it wasn't like I went to Nate, sat in a room, and said, "With our first overall pick, we're drafting Brendan," and Brendan was stuck doing his internship with us. Brendan came to us. We had a discussion with Brendan. I said, "You want an internship?" He said, "Yes," and then we signed an agreement. Like
And he can't ask to get traded to someplace else to do his internship?
he can't.
I can try it and ask, but
So like
nothing's going to happen.
sometimes it's difficult to compare the real world, what's happening, to what happens in sports because it is very different. It's just not something that
I don't know. if
I think could be
agree.
equally related in this. But like the Panthers got full relief here,
Sure, they did.
and they
it
benefit
helped
because
them, and
they
then he's
didn't.
gonna
And
come
to his
back.
point, like they didn't have a pulse on their player doing something possibly, and why shouldn't teams then be punished
The
potentially
team
for
actually
that?
benefited. He's off the cap. They were able to add extra cap, and then he comes back and plays, and now they're even more money over the cap in the playoffs, and they're a better team for it. Like they're a dangerous team. They could easily win this again.
Yeah, and they'll get Ekblad back in that first round as long as they're not down like 0-2, 0-3, whatever it is. Again, I forgot the math of how it plays out, how many games left they had. I agree with where you go. I think maybe there should be a portion of the cap.
yeah. And yeah, maybe you can't go too extreme one way or the other, but
I think if,
I don't think they should just get off going,
Like-
hey, Seth Jones, thank you.
And bad substance is a thing that benefits the Panthers.
Sure,
They get a
that's fair.
benefit if he's using a banned substance. It's to improve his play, which
Yeah.
helps the Florida Panthers.
Is it out what he took?
I didn't see.
Yeah, I don't know what
I
was
didn't
in it.
see either, so I'm really curious what it is.
Thank you, Big U. 2 playoff games he'd miss. I think it's if a player, we had a Shaden Pinto situation a couple years ago with the Sens and he got suspended. I could see that one where it's like that has nothing to do with the team. Like he's not doing things to help the team. We actually don't even know what happened with Shane Pinto fully there. I can maybe see that situation where the team maybe you get 75% relief. There still should be something that they're under your employment. You can keep an eye to it. But banned substance, I'd have no problem if they were stuck without it to a degree.
Like, so is this a first offense for him? He got with because to me,
I think so. You don't hear about it too often.
I think it would be very naive to think that there's not a lot of players in the NHL and all professional sports that aren't on some type of performance enhancing
It's
drugs.
widely thought that the NHL doesn't do rigorous drug testing.
Yeah.
And they get away with it.
and
They
there's-
let a lot go by.
There's so many performance enhancing drugs that have short half-life, so you could be taking them and it's out of your system in 2 days. And then if you know when you're getting tested in advance and you're taking the right performance enhancing drug, then people, but you'd never know. Now, if you're taking something that has a long half-life, okay, then you're being dumb and you
Yeah,
get
now
caught,
you
but-
almost did it to yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I think lots are. So he made a mistake and got caught. That a lot of other guys aren't making the same mistake. That's my thinking. But
And the Panthers, maybe the Panthers told the NHL about it.
Yeah, it's just so they can
Maybe
get
they
more-
went, hey, oh, yeah. They,
We can get
call in the
Sentinel.
anonymous tip about Ekblad here. Ekblad, you're taking one for the team here. And this all is a bigger conspiracy than we're really seeing here.
Yeah.
I'm going, just to the point of when things were announced, I didn't like it. It didn't pass the smell test for me.
Yeah. I hear you.
And they got some extra relief, and we'll see what happens to the Panthers. Like, I'll cheer very much against the Panthers now going into these playoffs because, like, I didn't mind what Vegas has done with the LTIR over the last few years. I didn't mind when the Lightning did it with Kucherov. I've wanted the Oilers to do it that way.
Sure.
But a suspension way and the way this was all didn't like that. So
Well-
I'll hope for different things.
The other piece to the trade deadline of the Oilers, though, is some of their competitors loaded right the heck up. And so I feel like they were like Dallas and Colorado. Although Dallas and Colorado were probably going to play in the first round, the Oilers wouldn't play any of those teams until the third round. But
Yeah, we
still,
get the LA Kings in this city again.
yeah, it's looking like good odds of LA again.
What do we have right
Pretty
now? By the way, portions of this hour of the EST Hangout, they are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Stock, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, the highproductmarketing.com. How was Tommy's throws?
He was doing it.
Yeah.
Good. That makes me happy.
But he's still no Matt Iwanyk with it, though.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
He also ditched us still again for the Heavy
We
Hockey
gotta
Showdown.
bash him all we can.
Right now, Oilers, Kings, first round. It would be Vegas taking on the Wild. The Jets would get the Canucks,
And then
the
the,
Stars,
big barn burner.
and the Avs.
Yikes. How pissed off is the Colorado Avalanche right now when it looks like they're going to play Rantanen in the first freaking round of the playoffs?
for the next 8 years.
Well, how's he doing in Dallas?
They've struggled.
He didn't do well in Carolina.
No, I don't know what he's done in Dallas,
They got a
but
point in their last game, I think I saw.
I'll say this right now. I think it's locked in Dallas, Colorado. Dallas sits.
thank the
far behind
hockey
Winnipeg?
gods for that one, hey?
Dallas is 9 points back of the Jets for top of the Central.
Yeah, that's a
They
lot.
do have 2 games in hand, so let's say they win those. You're still like
Five.
that's
5 more
that's a
wins than
lot.
them over the rest of the way. Yeah,
That's a lot to overcome. When you look at Colorado's at 85 points, Minnesota's next at 79 points. Like that, I think even that gap might be a little too much for the Wild to have to overcome. That I feel like Winnipeg, and then it's the battle between Dallas, Colorado, who gets home ice for that one. But I think we're going to get Dallas, Colorado.
that's just
Anything else kind of locked in? Washington's going to win their division. Florida up 4 points on Tampa and Toronto.
Toronto's struggling right now too.
The Oilers only 4 back of Vegas, so the Pacific Division.
And Vegas is struggling again.
5-3-2 have lost 2 straight. So the division is still there for the Edmonton Oilers,
Well,
even though there was all those
Vegas
concerns a
still
little
got
bit
to
ago.
pull up their socks too, because even though they're 2 wins in a row, it's not like they're playing great.
Do want to get to? I'm behind on reading some texts. We'll continue with this hockey talk, but Mike, the Michigan fan, did ask earlier, Murray, we're going to have to set up a match between you and an EST staff member versus myself and B. Porter this summer. If you had to have someone join you from EST as your golf partner, who would it be?
Well, it's not Zach, I can tell you that. But, geez, that's a great question. I might have to say you, Maddie.
I was going to say Tommy. Tommy's better.
Oh, Tommy's better than you.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
he might
but
ditch you
well,
halfway
I know,
through.
That's what I was going to say. I
At
don't
the
know-
turn, he might try to join the other team.
I don't know if I could trust him. But B. Porter doesn't even count his freaking score. He just plays golf. He's our assistant superintendent. He doesn't. You ask him what he shot. I don't know. He just plays golf. He just loves golf and drinking beer and goes and plays golf and doesn't count his score. He just plays golf.
I've done a few rounds where I don't keep score, but then at night before I go to bed, I'll start thinking about the rounds
and figure out.
and
what
I
he
could
shot.
count my score.
Yeah.
I know exactly every shot I took
Really?
from the most recent round. Oh yeah,
Every golfer can do that, man.
I think at least 2 or 3 rounds I could do. Like in the summer, like I can't go to my most recent round now from.
Yeah, no, that's
But
fair.
in the summer,
But
I
like
could
that
probably
night-
go through 2 or 3 net rounds of my most recent rounds and go through pretty much 90% of the shots I made, which club and what happened.
Wow.
The last one easily. Yeah, you couldn't.
I don't think so.
Give it a
Not
try
the
next
whole
time.
round.
You'll
Not,
remember.
not
You'll
all
remember.
18, maybe 9.
How many drinks are you having on the golf
Well,
course?
that completely depends. Sometimes I'm out there to play golf, and sometimes
You're
sometimes
out
not
there.
so
If we're
much.
gonna take the drinks out of it, you'll remember.
Yeah.
You think?
I'll say that yes.
What
Because
do
you'll
you-
remember.
what do you shoot?
What do I shoot? Anywhere from a 90 to a 110, probably. Depends on the day.
Well, 110 starting to get to be a big number to count
Yeah.
to remember.
Your
110
back gets sore.
shots.
But
One of
usually,
those
like,
days.
okay, that is you're probably have some drop balls in there, lost balls.
Yeah, it's probably
And
not a legitimate.
there's a couple of-
rule followed.
There's a couple
around,
of
yeah.
putts. I'm assuming there's 3-4 putts
Yeah.
happening in there.
We're normally pretty good. Group that I would go out with, it would be the foot wedge, I think. You know, you're
You use
behind
the foot wedge?
a tree or on a route or something. It's like, you know what? We're not on the PGA.
Well,
I'm going to kick that 3 feet that way.
Yeah, I don't.
that's true story. I don't know if I've told a story on the Hangout before, but true story. I've played a ton of golf with Eskimo players in my life. So one day, played 36 holes of golf in a day, 18 at the Edmonton Country Club, 18 at Mayfair with Kamau Peterson. Another receiver. He lives in Florida now. Andrew Nowacki
Andrew Nowacki.
and Ricky Ray. And so Ricky and I are in a car together, and this is at the Edmonton Country Club. And Ricky's a pretty good golfer. He tugs his tee shot a little left on a hole. And back in these days, the Eskimo players, they were so into it. Like they're putting everything out. There's no foot weight. I mean, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Whack and KP, they both hit massive slices, like massive slices. They're way over there. We're at Ricky's ball in the trees, and it's right on top of a tree root.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way in hell I would ever have hit the ball where it was unless I was playing in a tournament because it was dangerous. And I'm looking at Ricky, and I can tell he doesn't want to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And so when I play with these guys, I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm buddies with these guys. And so this is something I normally would never do, but I said, Ricky, if I let you hit that shot and you break your wrist and I have to live with myself for the rest of the year hearing Ricky Ray's out with a broken wrist and I could have done something about it, I said, it's not going to happen. So I walked up and I kicked his ball off the tree root. But I didn't hear Whack and KP pull up behind us in their cart because they were quiet electric carts. And they see me do it, and they're, what the F are you doing? That's BS. Wow. I mean, they're screaming at me. And Ricky comes up and gives me a little shoulder bump and goes, thanks, merman. Because, I mean, it's crazy. You're on a true, take it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, man, like you said, you're not playing in the U.S. Open, and you got to come to work. You need your hands to work on the computer.
Exactly.
You don't need a broken wrist, man. That's
Well, even the videos, like seeing the guys in the woods and whack it off a tree and nail their buddy in the, somewhere they don't want to be hit or hit yourself. And it's just like, I'm out here to have fun on a Saturday afternoon. I'll work a way around a lot of stuff, but there's
when
not
you're in
everything.
that situation, there's chip outs. You can just punch it back out to the fairway and not try some hero shot through 14 trees, bend it around, and
Feel like Tiger, you got to roll.
yeah.
Snap it.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I think I can see the flag through those 14 trees. Yeah, let's see if we can get
There's a gap.
knife that through there. Yeah.
Gap.
Yeah, I like playing it as it lies mostly. Tree roots are the one I've learned
Yeah.
to. And for me, I always will look at my buddy or whoever I'm golfing, like, can I move? Just to make sure that they're cool
Yeah.
with it. And it's always a yes.
Wow.
But like that, because it was Tiger famously got hurt on it. Was it not?
I don't recall. But Tiger famously gets hurt
A lot.
a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought there was a tree root he hit off of, and he damaged his wrist pretty good one year.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, that one it's just not worth that one.
Here's the other one though. With me and my friends, if you're not playing a tournament, if you hit your ball down the middle of the fairway and you're in a divot, oh my God. Like that absolutely, in my opinion, that rule needs to get changed. It should be ground under repair. You should be able to move your ball out of a divot if you're in the middle of a fairway.
I don't get that one.
I don't.
Why
get the
should
fairways.
somebody who golfed ahead of me get somewhat of an advantage? Like if I'm PGA type thing, because they were out earlier, there's less divots. They hit a divot, I land in their divot, and I'm going to suffer.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
I think even for PGA, like everyone should get
Yeah, I agree.
some sort of relief. Like even if it's just you get to put the ball immediately before the divot.
Right.
Yeah.
Move it like a half an
Backwards?
inch.
Yeah.
Backwards, out of the same line, out of that
Yeah.
divot.
Or how about this one? If you're just in a casual round of golf and some donkey, 2 groups in front of you didn't rake the trap
Yeah.
and you hit it in the trap and you're in his footprint, Like, are you out of your mind? Like that again? You're punished because some guy is a disrespectful donkey and doesn't rake the trap. Like, come on.
That's why I like the COVID.
Yeah,
Take it out of the bunker.
Take it out of the bunker.
COVID bunkers out of the bunker.
Or you get to smooth the sand over and put it back there. But yeah,
We played out of the bunker. We're not in. No, take that ball out. Hitting out of the bunker. It was great. I hate saying golfing in the sand. One more text, 780-218-9999. Duke Aaron did say, sponsors work, Maddie. I saw the Finnish long drink yesterday. Picked up a case of EST. Picked up a case because of EST. Wow. Delicious. And that is the Finnish long drink. Legend of 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. Where you can find a liquor store and establishment nearest you where you can pick up the long drink and give it a try for yourself. And we still got a little bit left in our trophy here, which I will have
yeah, you better have
at the end of the show. As we wrap up the show, I will drink a little bit of the Finnish long drink from our Heavy Hockey Showdown championship. Am I missing anything? Just quickly getting used to having to read everything and get back into these rules. I'm excited for golf season.
Well,
getting closer.
It's getting closer. Absolutely.
It's won't be this month, but
we
that's
were
okay.
thinking until last week. We were thinking it was going to be in March opening until 1 week of when you were in Mexico. We were all jealous.
All
of you.
melting very quickly.
It is.
Tomorrow 3 degrees and sunny. Wednesday 4 degrees and sunny. Thursday 1 and cloudy. Friday 7 and clearing right now, according to Environment Canada. We'll see about later this week what it does end up being. But it's
not that far away.
No, it's not.
Last year we opened April 9th. If I was a betting man, I would say I would bet on the sooner than that this year.
Really? Even with these temperatures overnight that are still going sub-zero?
This snow, like I was saying to you before, like it was -10 or something on Friday. Snow was melting. Like the ground is starting to warm up. The frost is starting to come out of the ground. Like it's, when you get a 7-degree day now, oh boy, is it going to disappear in a big hurry.
This is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is very exciting. I'm very, very happy about that. Actually, I got to start working on the EST Golf Classic.
You sure do.
That's this week was, once I came back, it was going to be, that's my next big project to start working on. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if we've officially announced the date on air yet. I haven't. I don't know if anyone else did. So hopefully they haven't just yet.
I won't blow it on you this year.
Did you do it last year?
I think
you spoiled something last year.
I brought it up.
Spoiled.
I brought up about the tournament, and you're like, "Oh," I'm like, "What? Nobody knows that we're doing it yet." I'm like, "Oh, okay, forget what I just said."
People know we're doing it this year now.
Well, I know it's a major.
It is. It's one of our 4 majors.
EST major.
And actually, one person was saying when we were talking that play-on tournament, was it similar to Hoop It Up 3-on-3 basketball at Wested? It's very similar to that play-on tournament. I do miss that one too. That one I don't think we're adding just yet to EST. First, we'd have to do the street hockey before we added a 3-on-3 basketball event.
But didn't you say, or do you already have it, that you had to kind of have like the players that just ended this morning with the 3-hole playoff?
Rory getting the win?
Yeah, cool. Good for Rory. But what's the players on EST?
Super Bowl.
Oh,
Super Bowl
party.
Casino.
Right. I thought there was something.
Players.
I just couldn't remember.
So an event that we kind of don't run, but it's an EST event. We have some fun at it. So that's why it's like, it's not a major we're running. We're joining them.
What is Dusty doing?
That's Tecmo. I heard fumble inside the 10.
Oh, okay. They're playing the video games.
Hernan must be here. They must be playing. I'm trying to guess what teams they might be. If anything, Dusty might be the Lions and Barry Sanders fumbling inside the 10, maybe.
Ooh.
That could be it. I haven't heard Hernan yet, but that's what's going. Dusty yelling a little bit more. Yeah. He's not happy.
He's swearing now. Like, oh boy. Oh.
I've missed Tecmo myself. But Century, and then we got the 4 majors that we run.
Right.
Which we've done the curling, the fun spiel, golf will be next, and we got the Nasty Bash and the Esties. Which the Esties I have to actually figure out a date and book that. I'm behind on that one. Last year I did already the date locked in.
Your holidays are over. Get to work.
I know. It's almost going to be. We're almost a month away from Oilers playoffs starting. I think today is a month from the last NHL game.
Is it really that?
Or is yesterday a month from the last NHL game of the season? And then I was actually talking with somebody at the hockey game on Saturday. We were trying to figure out when the playoffs would officially start. The last game is the 17th, Thursday.
20th probably.
The Oilers' last game is the night before the 16th. They're in San Jose to take on the Sharks. So there's Good Friday, which is the 18th. There's Saturday, the 19th, Sunday, the 20th, Monday, the 21st. Last year, I feel like there was a couple of days before the playoffs started. I'd be shocked if the NHL doesn't start on the Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, I think. Half the game Saturday, half the game Sunday.
Leafs will start on the Saturday.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they would do Leafs Oilers if they would try to get that back to back. Now the American markets would be big too. That's very true too. So the Oilers would either start on the 19th or the 20th. So yeah, today's 1 month from the end of the NHL regular season, and this week will be 1 month till the playoffs begin.
So here's a question for you guys: if say the playoffs in the West end like it is today, and the Edmonton Oilers are going to play the Los Angeles Kings for, is it the fourth straight year in a row, then you're going to get a first round matchup of Dallas and Colorado, which could be the Western Conference final in the first round. Could be. Is the playoff format okay?
It's supposed to build rivalries. I think to a degree, like I don't want to see the LA Kings this year because it's 4.
Yes,
but I think seeing a team 3 years, I get built a little bit of a rivalry. I think it's worked that way. It's designed so that like the Oilers and the Golden Knights would have to meet, and we did get Oilers Flames a few years ago specifically because of this format.
Yeah.
I'd have to look closer at last year, but we got Oilers Canucks out of this because of this format. I'm personally fine with the format because in the end, if you want to be the champ, you got to go win.
You got to beat everybody. That's fair.
And I don't care whether it's Western Conference Final or the second round. The Winnipeg Jets eventually are going to have to beat the Dallas Stars or the Colorado Avalanche. And in this format, they'd have to do it in the second round. But you got to go beat them still.
Yeah. And Colorado or Dallas is going to have to beat Winnipeg and get out of that first round.
But the thing is, you'd have to do that anyway. So maybe some roads do get a little more difficult. But okay, let's take a look at what the NHL standings would be like if we went 1 through 8.
What would that mean for travel? Because
sure, the NHL's got lots of money. I mean, it's the travel to me, the dollars and cents. The travel to me is not the reason why you wouldn't change it. I mean, the rivalries, sure. Maybe the players and the rest, or if you're, I don't know. I'm curious who the 1-8 is. I like the unique matchups that are there, and I like it when the top 2 teams in the West are playing in the final, not potentially in round 1, or like years ago when the Oilers and Flames were arguably the 2 best teams in the league, and they were playing in the second round of the playoffs. Like the Stanley Cup was in the second round of the playoffs. That's crazy, but
so it's not going to be a perfect 1-8 like we used to have, because when the NHL used to do 1-8, the top 3 would be the division winners, and then they take everyone else. We don't have 3 divisions. We only have 2 divisions. So I'll do it as the top 2 division winners, then everyone else. Jets would be 1. The Golden Knights would be bumped up to 2. The Stars would be 3. Avs would be 4. Oilers would be 5. Kings 6. Wild 7. Canucks 8.
So if I heard that right,
the Oilers and the
Avs
in round 1. So for the Avs or the Oilers, well, for the Oilers, it's worse.
Absolutely.
You're taking on the Colorado team as opposed to an LA team. For the Avs, I would say it's still difficult. You're still having to deal with that. For the Stars, you get the LA Kings. So the Stars and the Oilers are reversing. That's almost kind of it with this format. I'm mostly okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I do go win. You want to be the champs. It doesn't matter who you beat. You got to be able. Do you want to be the champs just because we had an easier road, or do you want to be like we earned it? So I'm not opposed to it. If they changed it, I wouldn't be up in arms either.
Yeah. What do you think?
Kind of different. I like the way it's set up now. I think, like you said, with the making rivalries. LA, Edmonton, does it concern me for a 4th year in a row a little bit, but we can't really consider a rivalry till they come up to Edmonton and knock out the Oilers. Pretty one-sided as far as right now, but I like to see, like you said, with Calgary and Vancouver, and it sets that up nice. I like the repetition, I guess.
Like LA was supposed to be Calgary or Vancouver, or I should say Calgary. You know, it was supposed to be Calgary. Like in Johnny Gaudreau left through free agency, they traded McCourt, but it was supposed to be the Flames are now good. The Oilers are good at the same time. We're going to see this every year for a number of years.
And then it was
those changed, and now it became the LA Kings replaced the Flames, and that's what we got. I don't think anyone would be complaining about the format if we're getting Oilers Flames for a fourth straight year.
Boring. I find it boring, anyways. But the other piece of that, like we talk about rivalries, like is there really, even though they played each other 3 years in a row in the playoffs, is there really a big rivalry between the Kings and the Oilers? Like
I think it's turned one-sided. Like I think it still was like there was years 2 and 3. Like this is a big deal.
Yeah.
I think now for the Oilers side and Edmonton, like I'll speak from a fan's perspective type thing from their side. I can see Oilers fans like we beat them 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Go away. I think for LA Kings fans,
it's like big brother, little brother right now.
this is Oilers stars from the 90s.
Yeah.
The Oilers lost time and time, but it became a rivalry because they kept meeting and the Stars kept having the Oilers number. I don't know how much the Stars fans felt the rivalry to the Oilers, but from this city, there was. I think LA Kings fans would have that rivalry with the Oilers, hate the Oilers right now because of this. Oilers fans right now don't have that reversed. I think if anything, just Oilers fans are more, like I'm in the camp of, if it wasn't for 4 straight years, I'd have no problem with seeing the Oilers take on the LA Kings because I think they'd win that series.
Sure.
But just probability-wise, the Kings eventually might get one.
Yeah.
And that's my fear for in this one is I don't want to see 4 for the Oilers because I think then the Kings will get it. They just like the Oilers finally got it against the Stars. The Kings will find their due type thing. Yeah. But no, it's one of those. I think there is a bit of a rivalry, but I think in Edmonton it's dropped because the Oilers have dominated for 3 straight.
But I'm even talking about not just the fan base. Like on the ice, I don't see a whole lot of animosity. Like I would think after the Oilers have beat the Kings 3 years in a row, when Oilers and Kings play in the playoffs, if I'm the Kings, I'm going to want to beat the crap out of the Oilers just to because I'm pissed off that you beat us 3 years in a row. I'm going to smash you in the boards. I'm going to grab your head and slam it in the ice. I'm going to kill you.
Well, I think we've seen that. Like Mike Anderson was doing stuff to Leon Draisaitl, and we've seen the Oilers be very upset about that. And at times that's crossed him to a little bit into regular seasons. I feel like I actually do feel like on the ice we've seen that a little bit.
You think so, hey?
But I think you're not going to get that as much as you would want it, kind of regardless. Like it's just kind of working its way out of, like what Max Domi did to I'm going to go to say it, and I'm going to forget it again. It's kind of a
that he pummeled the other day in that fight. Is that what you're talking about? I can't remember who it was.
It was a clean enough hit, but they would hit for Hagee, and I can't remember who he fought. But then ragdolled him. Like I would love to see more of that, but I don't think it made news because it's like that doesn't really happen so much these days.
Do you remember the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames a few years back? I mean, now that's a rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, goalie fights and Matt Tkachuk getting ragdoll. I mean, that was fun.
That was even still quite some time.
If I was in charge of the NHL, the only way I'd change the format would be I wouldn't care about divisions. It's 1 through 8, 1 through 8. I don't care.
That's what you would if you're for a day.
I'm good with getting rid of divisions in most sports. Like I would get rid of it in the CFL. I would go straight 1 through 9. The top 2 teams get the buys. Everyone else then slots in. I understand that maybe you want to, if you do want to keep regionalism, the winner of the West hosts the West final, winner of the East hosts the East final, but then you go straight wild cards the rest of it. And the 3rd best team in the Canadian Football League plays the 6th best team. 4th best plays 5th best, and then you go from there. But I'm one of those. Yeah, I'm fine with conferences. You want to separate, like it's travel, all of that. If you want, break those up. But if you're number 1, you get number 8. If you're number 2, you get number 7. Yeah. And like even just the old system of the NHL where it was 1 through 8, again, it wasn't a true 1 through 8 because the top 3 teams had to be the division winners. And sometimes the 3rd team was lower than 4th and 5th. They should have been 6th.
Well, you see
but
the
they
NFL
got 3rd.
lots.
You see that in the NFL with every so often that 500 team
getting in as the South winner and the Bengals losing out. It was like, well, the Bucks earned it more. The Bucks are
they got to host the playoff game.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm personally let's just get rid of divisions to a degree. But I understand also then with the schedule making, you want to create those in-season rivalries or something. But then for playoffs, though, I'd be like, hey, no, you've 1 through 8, 1 through 8. Let's design it properly. And if you're the best team, you get the quote unquote worst team going into the playoffs or the lowest team going into the playoffs. And throughout, that's how you go. I would do away with division winners type thing there.
I like it. That's what I'd like to see.
Like the one, like, that's where I don't like where baseball has expanded so much of the playoffs. Because before it mattered, the division.
Oof.
That was the only way basically you were getting the playoffs,
Yeah.
unless you were that one lucky wild card team. 4 teams made it. You want to make the play, win your division. Like that's what it came.
Yeah.
Beat those, and you play your division teams a lot. Go win your division, and it meant something. And now you got a lot more, so it doesn't mean as much.
Still a low percentage of baseball teams in the playoffs compared to other sports.
You don't if you win your division, you don't have to deal with that first wild card like the short series.
Yeah, you get a bye too, which was the top of the conference or league or whatever they call it, I guess. But
if travel because also look, truthfully, this would never fully fly, but like the East does get easier travel than the West.
Oh, does it ever?
I would honestly just say screw it and let's go 1 through 16.
Yeah.
You want to know something?
I'm
Level
down
the
with
playing
that,
field
too.
for travel.
Yeah.
Straight up to a degree. Like there's sometimes the East would have to travel or something.
Just
What would
think
1
of the
through
unique
16 be?
matchups you would get. It would be so fun.
So right now, okay, I got to count 16 because it doesn't go easy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I think this is it. Hernan just had something against Dusty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, yeah. Winnipeg would take on St. Louis. Washington gets Vancouver. Dallas gets Ottawa. Carolina gets New Jersey. Vegas and Minnesota. Colorado and Tampa, Stanley Cup final rematch from a couple of years ago. Florida, Toronto, Edmonton, LA.
Oh,
We
my
did
God. Oh.
go figure.
Unbelievable.
Go figure.
Just can't get away from that. No matter what format. Well, I guess if we go 1 to 8.
1 to 8, we
1 to
get rid of
8,
it. But if we go
get
1
rid
to
of it.
16, Edmonton, LA. We did it, everyone.
Oh.
We did it.
I kind of like that actually. The 1 through 16. Let's shake it up.
And you get your best 2 teams are going to play in the Stanley Cup final.
Well, yeah, like right now, it works this way with the current system. Winnipeg could take on Washington in the Stanley Cup final. There are different conferences that work that way. But let's say, hypothetically, Dallas was better than Washington. You wouldn't have Dallas and Winnipeg meet in a conference final. They'd be lined up to meet in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
It'd just be a lot more travel for all teams overall. That's one thing that wouldn't fly for with all of that. But
Those poor Eastern teams that actually have to travel a little bit. Oh,
what would be the biggest travel in this that I had? Winnipeg, St. Louis isn't too bad.
Vancouver,
Winnipeg, St. Louis,
Washington.
or-
Washington, Vancouver would be a tough one.
same division.
Dallas, Ottawa is not too bad. Like, it's not the best. Carolina, New Jersey's easy. Vegas, Mini's not bad. Colorado, Tampa's not bad. Florida, Toronto's fine. Edmonton, LA's fine. So it won't even be that crazy this year. Give me 1 through 16.
Yeah. The second rounds, it might change a little bit, but I mean, but even still, they're all on private
Well, they're
chartered
all-
flights and
You have days between every game anyway.
And apparently,
That's
Tommy, I
fair,
think, is the
too.
one that said it a couple weeks ago. Or did he say I can't remember how it came up, but he mentioned that the Stanley Cup final, again, like this past year, there'll be the travel day and then another day off and then the next game.
Yeah.
So they'll be game 1, day off, game 2, day off, game 3, day off, game 4, day off, game 5, day off, game 6, day off, game 7.
they're not
What's the easiest way to get it done before the end of June?
not do that.
Yeah. I don't know where we could lose a couple days.
If you wanted to shorten the NHL season, you could cut preseason in half.
Yep.
Well,
Teams that
that's
are
the
playing
plan.
7-8 games, cut it
Yeah.
down to 4.
But they're going up
And
to
that's a
84
week.
games.
Don't go to 84 games.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
In fact, cut it down to like 78 games.
Yeah.
You
That'll
can
never
maybe be
happen.
done by the beginning of June. Or if you're not going to cut and you stay at 82 games, you start the regular season a week early.
Yep.
You start October 1 or something like that, and you get going.
And especially with like Olympics next year, that's a 3-week break in the
So,
season.
and if I read it correctly, and I could be off, it's an all-star game that leads to the Olympic break.
Mm.
I think there's an all-star game next year. It's scheduled to be in Long Island.
Okay.
And I think it's supposed to be the send off to the Olympics. So I think like the league will shut down, let's say hypothetically on a Wednesday, the players will go to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming there'll be some flights straight from there from all the players that will take them straight to Milan.
Yeah.
I think it's
Assuming all the players are in the All-Star game that are going to the Olympics.
Well, for the players that are at the All-Star game that are going, like I'm assuming there'd be just like other players would already start going.
Yeah.
Then the players that are at the All-Star game, they would go. But honestly, if I'm a player that's going to the Olympics, I don't want to be in that All-Star game.
No. That's what I was
They're
thinking.
trying to ramp up, and then we have to play a 3-on-3 tournament.
Well, and especially right before, like
Yeah.
I want to get used to my team. I want to go
Absolutely.
and I don't want to risk. Like I know that we generally don't see injuries or something, but I'm not risking my Olympics at an
Could you
All-Star game.
imagine?
Everyone will coocher off it at that All-Star game.
Well, that's why I honestly am surprised NHL's getting away with that. Like, and didn't just say, you want to know something? All-Star game going to Long Island 2027. We'll see you there.
But isn't that going to be not the Four Nations, what do they call it? The World
It'll be the
Cup
World
or
Cup will
something?
be back. But it's not going to be every year we're going to have a best on best.
Every other year.
Yeah. So in those years in between, you could do the All-Star game. The All-Star game could be done every 2 years.
Yeah, every odd year.
Next year, Olympics, then an All-Star game, then World Cup, All-Star, Olympics, All-Star, World Cup. Like that's how you could do it every 2
And
years.
then you
Yeah,
make
that
the
makes
All-Star game special again.
Possibly,
yeah.
because you're seeing it less.
Every 2 years now.
That's where we'll see. But next year, the fact that there is one, I'll say this: there's a 25% like inside of me like that thinks that like they'll eventually be like, we're postponing it till 2027 this summer.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a part of me that just doesn't believe this.
Because somewhere in there, the players are going to, through the NHLPA or something, they're going to speak up and say, guys, we don't want to do this.
Unless the sponsors are speaking up too loudly to the NHL going, we want this. We can't have another year without an All-Star game.
But do the sponsors, like,
Sponsors
what
apparently
sponsor
cares.
really cares? Like look what at the NBA All-Star game this year, the sponsors are probably embarrassed to be associated with it.
Yeah, pay attention to what they do this summer, what they announced this summer to the All-Star game, because they'll have to do something.
Yes.
They can't keep it going.
Well, but it's the same in the NHL. Like what, in that skills competition thing when Kucherov was just like, man, like that was embarrassing to the league. Like, don't even participate then. Just sit on the bench and twiddle your thumbs. Let somebody else that's actually going to skate a little bit go out there and do that.
Maybe they'd have to reword it. Maybe this is an All-Star game where we get like the next tier of players. We get them to showcase themselves. It's not the stars, but it's the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
The Ryan Nugent-Hopkins of the world get their chance in front of the world of hockey, do their thing.
I would really like to know who's the fastest skater in the NHL. Like at the All-Star game, if the guys went balls to the wall, like it's a big deal to win the fastest skater. It's a big deal to win the hardest shot. I would be all into watching that for sure. If they were going balls to the wall and we really know who's going to win
Well,
those.
I will say this is where the NHL gets it wrong, unless I've missed the last couple of ones because I tuned them out. Then the NBA gets it right. The NBA skills competition, you don't have to be an all-star to take part in the skills competition. They want the best three-point shooters.
Right.
They want the best slam dunk artists. They want the best passers and accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL too often takes the all-stars and puts them there. And it's, no. Go find the 6 fastest skaters in hockey.
I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
Go find the 6 hardest shots in hockey and invite those people.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody says no, go to the 7th type thing. But that's how the skills competition one should be.
Yeah.
One, you also get more people that get experience all-star weekends. But 2, then when it comes to the skills, we get the true, like, is Dylan Larkin faster possibly? Is Matt Barzal? Is Connor McDavid? Like, who is the fastest? Bring them together. Let's get it done.
Yeah. And
don't have to be an all-star.
The winner gets some. Guys aren't saying no. Well, I mean, they're rich enough, but I was going to say it's $100,000 to win each of these competitions. I don't think guys are saying no to participate if they can win $100,000.
Yeah, for 13 seconds or whatever it is to skate.
Yeah.
I'd also want the title to a degree.
Well, sure.
Especially like fastest skater. I'd want to beat McDavid.
Ego.
Well, and
everyone says how fast this guy is. If I'm Dylan Larkin, well, I'll show you. And then look, I'd beat Connor.
And ideally, Connor is would be like, screw all you guys. You guys are not as fast as me. I can watch this.
And he just has to do it once.
Yeah.
then he can bow out if he wants. It's like the slam dunks. Most people have done the slam dunk contest except one major player.
Who's that?
Yeah, name names.
I will actually. It's one thing I'm very upset about LeBron for his career.
That's what I thought. I thought who I
Because
thought
the
it
year
was.
prior, he had said, he went on a mic and said, next year I'm taking part in the slam dunk contest. And he didn't do it. And don't like MJ did it, Kobe did the stars have done it. The tops. And to not just not do it, but to have gone on the mic the year prior and be like, next year in wherever I'm doing it, and then not do it, that's where it's like, I will always hold that against LeBron.
But LeBron, just his body type compared to MJ and Kobe is not the same. I don't think LeBron could. He doesn't have the athleticism of those guys to do some crazy fancy stuff.
I would never call it LeBron to say that he couldn't do something personally.
Well, but he's just bigger.
I know what you're saying, but I think he'd come up with something. Like I wouldn't put him as the favorite going into it.
No,
but I also think you have to
either.
go do it. Like you got to go enter. That is like, I don't know. He's not the 3-point shooter. He's not. If there's one event and skills that you want to see of LeBron, I think the only thing would be the slam dunk. So go do it. Like I'll say like Dwight Howard did it. He was fun.
He's a big body.
He blew out the candle that was on top of the rim. He then put a sticker up and dunked. There's ways LeBron could have had some fun with that.
Maybe.
And he chose not to go do that. By the way, this is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian. Check them out, sentinel.ca. 75% off 8 weeks on 10 by 10 units. That has been extended to March 31st. So, yeah. My one issue. Well, had a few issues with it.
What are the Lakers doing lately? I haven't even.
They dropped a couple.
Yeah.
LeBron they're showing like how important LeBron is to the team, even with Luka, that he covers a lot of holes. But yesterday went out and beat the Suns. So doing pretty well.
Yeah. Where are they in the standings in the West?
It's tight between 2 and 5, I think it is. OKC's got the West. There's no question about that one. Why is this now taking too long to load? Here we go. Houston, Denver, Memphis are all 43 and 25. The Lakers are 41 and 25. So the Lakers have 2 games in hand on those 3 teams, and sits a game back. So they got to go win at least one of those, and they'd stay a game back. They're 2 games up on the Golden State Warriors for 6th.
What do they got left? 12-ish games? 14 games?
16 for the Lakers. Those other teams have 14.
Yeah.
For the most part. So you're in that little stretch run there.
Yeah. So they could still catch those other teams pretty easy then.
They had a little bit of a losing streak. They won a bunch, and then they lost to your Celtics, lost to the Nets, lost to the Bucks, lost to the Nuggets, went 4 straight, but actually played really well against the Nuggets, and then finally beat the Suns. But again, LeBron has been out for a little bit, and it's showing how important LeBron is to the Lakers right now.
But at his age, he needs some rest. He needs to be fully rested and healthy for playoff time.
With basketball, it is March Madness too this week. First 4 starts tomorrow and Wednesday. Tournament starts on Thursday. I may open up, create an EST somewhere. Jasmine wanted me to do that. So I'll have to maybe do that over the course of.
When does it start? Tomorrow? Thursday?
Thursday for brackets and stuff.
Oh.
Thursday is the big. Tomorrow, it's the first 4. So there's the 2 games tomorrow, 2 games Wednesday. They get the last spots of the tournament. But then Thursday it all kicks off. So I might throw one out there. My Blue Devils look pretty good.
That they do.
Thank you.
Now, because you're a big curling guy, how are you following the World Women's Championships right now?
Generally, I don't follow the Worlds. Truthfully.
You're so into Scotty.
I love watching the
but
Canadian
you don't watch
Championships.
the Worlds.
I wish our team's the best. I'll follow along to see what they're doing, but I generally don't sit down and watch those.
Well,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be watching it right now because their games are at like midnight. Start at midnight.
South Korea? I think they are.
South Korea, yeah. They won again in the middle of the night last night.
Did they?
4-1 right now.
No, I don't know. There's just something I'd never really gotten into the Worlds.
I'm stunned by that. I thought you would be right into that, and I was like wondering how you're probably carrying some odd hours to make sure you watch these games right now, but no.
I missed the Briar. Actually, funny enough, at the resort I was at in Mexico, they had a number of Canadian channels, and one of the channels was TSN. So I did watch a little bit of the Briar in Mexico. To end my nights, I'd throw the Briar on it and I'd watch some of that.
Man, those were good games in the playoffs of the Briar. Oof. Like, I still can't get over how Gushu missed that final shot in the semifinal to lose. I mean, man,
Alberta's just too good. We're champs. Don't mess with Berta.
They didn't win that game. Gushu lost it, but those were great games. Unbelievably competitive, both the semifinal and the final. It was very fun to watch. You would have enjoyed it.
Although I understand there is a skill to it, and sometimes it's not as simple as the way it is. But to hear that the Briar final had 4 straight blank ends, don't like that. That's why I like the women's game a little bit more than the men's games. I like seeing points scored. And to me, blank ends aren't as exciting. And I know there are times like it could be a great end and you can make amazing shots to force the blank.
That's what was going on, yeah.
But I like seeing the points scored. And
sure.
Seeing that 4 straight blanks, when I looked at my phone, I was like, good thing I'm not watching this one right now because I would get mad.
It was amazing curling, though. It was getting blanked. I mean, sure, at the tail end of the ends, they were trying to work towards a blank but early on they weren't. I mean, when you have the free guard zone rule, my goodness, like rocks are in play, and then all of a sudden these crazy triples happen. It's like, holy, so good. Those guys are all so good.
And now hopefully they can go win gold at the Worlds.
But you're not going to care.
Rachel. I didn't say I don't care. I just don't watch. It's not like must-see TV for me.
Okay.
Like again, this week it's March Madness begins on Thursday.
So you're right into that? You're going to have your laptop here?
Oh, of course. Oh, Thursday, Friday, laptop's running. I'm not missing that. That's what's on all day. Those 2 days. And then we go from March Madness, which is over the course of the next 3 weekends. We got the playoff push in the NHL and NBA. But the countdown is on to what you're going to go to in a few weeks, which is the Masters.
Yes, the countdown is on.
Players is over.
So it's all about the Masters now. Except I was so looking forward, thinking that Tiger was going to go there, and then another injury. Like this guy, body is just done.
Yes. I think he should just play the Masters every year now, moving forward.
Well, he needs an Achilles to play the Masters.
But once he hit, that's just focus only on the Masters and maybe TGL. But only focus on. Don't try to golf anywhere
TGL,
else.
he doesn't need to walk, so it's perfect.
Just
for him.
don't worry about it anymore. Like you don't have it.
Yeah.
So be that guy who plays the Masters until you're 73, 74, whatever. Announce your last Masters, and everyone tunes in and watches your last Masters.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea because it's just unbelievable how that injury bug has gotten him. But I guess that's what happens. He's probably, I ultimately think, and I don't really know this, but I mean, sure, the car accident, almost dying in a car accident is not what I'm about to say, but it's like his back issues and some of that. I kind of feel like there must be something in his swing that has put more pressure on his body than a lot of other guys. Because it just doesn't make sense for him to be that banged up all the time. If it's not, like, I don't, it's, I think that's probably part of it.
He's got to be living in constant pain.
Wow, that car accident, you see him walk. I mean, that's unbelievable.
That's why I say stop having to go through these surgeries and stuff because you've hurt yourself again.
Yeah.
Again and again.
Well, he certainly, that car accident did permanent damage. I mean, he's never going to be the same after that. But yeah, I guess it all started with his wife chasing him with a golf club down the street.
I was at Nate's.
You were at Nate's?
I was at Nate's in the Mac Lab in the TV side. Bottoms, first floor. I don't know if they still have the Mac Lab or something there. Their Jock Lounge?
Yeah.
Do you know that across the
just
hall?
On the other side of the doors there.
Yeah, there's there used to be just a bunch of Macs. I don't know if it's still that way down there.
Yep.
That's where I was with some people, and somebody said, "Oh, Tiger got in a car accident." It blew up from there, but that's where I was for that one.
That's pretty cool. You remember where you were?
That was because then it was first a car crash.
Yeah.
And then it spiraled, and then those stories came out, and then it was his wife chasing him and everything. And then all the stories, I slept with Tiger, and you know, it was like,
Who didn't?
Well, that was it's like Oprah going, "You get a car, you get a car," but it's like, "You slept with Tiger, you slept with Tiger, you slept with Tiger." Like, and this story is just like, whoa, and it just kept blowing up from there. Before we wrap up, I got to drink out of one more.
All right.
Heavy Hockey Showdown Championship, the Finnish long drink.
Finish it.
I'm not going to finish it all, Murray. I got a lot of work to do today.
Busy day.
Although it isn't even a can, I'm going to be drinking if I drink this all
I'm
because
like,
Dusty had part of it.
don't be a wimp.
Well, maybe some other people want some.
Then they can pour another can in.
I got to wrap up the show before I finish it. Sorry, Murray.
All right.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, you too,
Brendan,
man.
good seeing you too.
Yeah.
I'll get your key fixed.
Thanks.
Well, I'll get you a new one.
I appreciate
Please don't
it.
break the next key.
I'm going to try my best.
Thanks to everyone for
Did it
tuning
on
into the
purpose.
EST Hangout. On the show today, we got Lock Shop, we got Oil Stream, Dusty and Hernan on the Oil Stream, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, without Jay Milne, who is off right now. Thanks for tuning into the Hangout. On behalf of Brendan Murray, I am Matt. This is Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,